Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Cellar TV. What we're trying today is a really quite wonderful and lovely sort of juicing, fruit forward and very sort of new wave wine coming out of Australia. It is from Unico Zelo, and this is their Truffle Hound, and it is their pure, well actually no longer in this particular vintage actually, it was pure Nebbiolo, but the label has kindly reminded me in the 2016 vintage that it has got a little bit of Barbera in there as well. So a really interesting situation here with Unico Zelo, because they are based in sort of the Adelaide Hills area, but this is actually from Clare Valley fruit, and they are a bit of, well they are, let's be honest, they are experts in Italian grape varietals in Australia. So it's quite interesting because a lot of those sort of grape varietals, they also have Fiano, they've got Dolcetto, they've got Nero di Avola and all the rest as well. And so quite, Italian staples as far as anything is concerned, and they often aren't found anywhere else around the world. There are a few people that do try them out, of course, but not too often. If you are going to have any sort of Nebbiolo, then it really sort of is guaranteed that it's going to come from Italy. There aren't many people trying it outside of Italy, or at least not commercially. So it's very exciting to then come across a wine like this from Unico Zelo, especially because it is so cheap. This particular bottle, it's for $35 online, New Zealand, which is cheap as chips as far as I'm concerned, and it is delicious. It's also so exciting because you can totally tell that it's a New World wine, but at the same time, it is also completely Nebbiolo. But the thing is, since all of these examples of Nebbiolo only come up from sort of the Piemonte region up in northwest of Italy, we sort of just get into our heads that it can only ever taste like that particular way, like the wines from Gattinara or, well, from Barolo and all the rest as well. And so we just never really think of it tasting any other way from those very austere, very secular sort of styles of wine, which is not bad. They're some of my favourite wines in the world. So it's just so interesting and refreshing and a bit of a real sort of wine education and a bit of a hallucinogenic sort of moment, this particular wine, because it makes it go, oh yeah, and sort of brings you back a couple of notches. And I'm not going to say it's sort of the essence of Nebbiolo by any means, but it's just a completely different take on it, which is really quite lovely. So if you sort of give it a sniff, you do get a little bit of that sort of those classic cherry and those classic sort of rose characteristics that you do get from Nebbiolo back up in Piemonte. However, this has also just got a real luscious character to it, so it's a lot more sort of plump, a lot more juicy, a lot more ripe. There's quite a few more sort of red, well, yeah, a lot more red cherries, a lot more sort of macerated red cherries, and also sort of black currants a little bit. But for me, what really stands out is that it's the red currant, I have to say. It's sort of dried red currant and sort of macerated red plums. It's much more fruit forward, whereas often I find quite a few, and I love this aspect of it, Nebbiolos from Piemonte being a little bit more sort of rose, a little bit more floral, and perhaps being a little bit more delicate. This one's a little bit more, yes, hello, I'm New World, I'm ripe, and I'm ready to go, which is lovely actually, because we don't usually get to try Nebbiolo so young. Usually for most Nebbiolos coming out of Piemonte and all the rest, you do sort of have to wait 5 up to 10 years or so before they are becoming beautiful and really well integrated and ready to drink. Whereas this, and we'll find in a second, it's just plump, it's juicy, and it's exciting because you can drink it straight away, and I will, and I have before. Anyway, so on the palate, let's give it a little taste. So it's interesting as I'm tasting that, I just have a quick glance over to the label, and they are completely right. They've got a couple of words here describing the wine. Juicy, yes, tick. Bright, yes, tick. And enlivened, yes, tick. Absolutely. It's just so juicy, and I'd say it's medium plus bodied. It's not too full, but it's just a little bit more medium. than medium. The tannins are there, but they're soft and they're really, really, really well integrated. I'm not too much oak influence here. There's a little bit for sure, but not too much. Or at least not that I can sort of taste, because it's just such ripe fruit here, which is really, really quite exciting. So you are just left with this real plushness on the palate, and it's just juicy and it's soft and it's just alluring. And if you can think of your classic Merlot as far as palate, as far as the palate of the wine is concerned, and this is what this is like, just a little bit more, say, perhaps fuller bodied than your classic Merlot. It's lovely. It is soft and it is delicate, and again, a lot of those cherry flavors, those plum flavors, that red currant flavor for me in particular, especially sort of down the back of the palate and now on the finish, is really, really coming forward here. But yes, it's just lovely and it's really, really exciting. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, that red currant flavor is probably coming from the Barbera aspect of this particular wine. I'm not entirely sure of the 2016's makeup. It's still Nebbiolo heavy as far as I'm concerned, but that Barbera obviously is adding a little bit more of those red fruit flavors there, so a little bit more of the enhanced cherry flavor, which is possibly why we're smelling that a lot more here in this particular vintage. And a lot more of those sort of red currant fruit flavors. As I said, this has been $35 online. A steal, a real steal, and I implore you to check out a few of their other wines as well. As I said, they've got their Nero Diavola that we've got online, we've got their Dolcetto, they make a beautiful sort of rosé, a few single vineyard or sort of reserve labels, as well as their straight Fiano, and their Fiano is delicious, and we're going to be doing a tasting note of that later tomorrow, I think it is. That we're going to be trying that, which is called the Jade and Jasper Fiano, and that is delicious and really, really fun to drink. And again, they are just such well-priced wines, and they're all sort of $30 to $35, which is exceptional value. So yes, anyway, if you've liked this video, please do like away, comment away. Let us know if you've tried this wine before or any of their other wines, or if there are any other sort of New World Nebbiolos which you've tried and you love and you think we should check out. We want to know, I want to know. And of course, please do subscribe and check out a few of our other videos. We are constantly adding in more and more and more content all the way, so that's all very exciting. And of course, I've been Connal. This has been the Cellar TV. Cheers.